And Don, I met him. He was a senior in college, and I'm a freshman, and he was to a freshman mixer. Now I don't know why he was there, but he was.
He's probably looking for you.
No, well, no, he had a steady girlfriend, and her name was Clara May Weatherby, and she was a cute cookie. Yeah. Anyway, the first date, you heard me say this already, the first date I ever had with him, we were going to a basketball game, and, you know, I said to him something about, well, when's your birthday? And he said October 17th. I said, oh, Don, I already told you my birthday was October 17th. And he said, no, I didn't ask you when your birthday was. And he took out his his billfold, and his birthday, October 17th. And so we both had a birthday on the same day.
Was it the same year as well, or was he older?
No, he's 4 years older than me, and now our two girls are 4 years older too. Well, that was one thing, though. You know, Don, I drank more than Don ever dreamt to drink, and you know, I don't drink much. And that first night I met him, when I told you about asking when my birthday was, he told me he didn't like it, didn't want any girl he knew to ever smoke, or didn't want him to wear red nail polish. Well, I don't know what I told him, but I said, well, I'll never smoke, but I will wear red nail polish. And whatever I said, he said he'd do this, and I don't know if that ever happened. But to this day, I've never had a cigarette to my mouth in my life. So I
Did Grandpa?
Huh?
Did Grandpa ever?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I mean, even when, you know, Paul, even when he was in New York in his high school team, I mean, even if he associated with people that smoked, they'd get kicked off the team because it was a big school and not very many people could play. And I don't think he ever did. But that was one thing. I got signs all over that says no smoking, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
There's one right up over there.
Yeah. But
what about your wedding? Anything eventful at your wedding?
Oh, you want me to tell you about that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you ever hear me talk about that? Oh. Well, when I went to New York, in which I always intended to get married at the boarding school in Grand Rapids, Don's mother said, neither one of my kids got married here, and I'd be so appreciative if you got married here. So I said, well, I guess, you know, really, who do I have? I don't have anybody there. I don't have anybody here. So we made arrangements, and we all got married in Amsterdam, New York, at St. Mary's Church. Anyway, I guess I should go back and say that for a long time I didn't really date Don too much, because I was Catholic and he was Presbyterian, and I said, I just feel like I don't want to be married, have a mixed marriage, because I said that creates so many problems. Well, after he graduated and went home, he turned Catholic. He turned Catholic, not for him, but for me. And then when I went there to spend Christmas there, and he had turned Catholic, that's when we decided we would be married. And I'm only a kid.
How old were you?
Huh?
How old were you?
How old was I? Well, at that time I was just 18.
And when you got married?
Well, I was 19 by then.
Okay.
And so anyway, when that morning of that we were getting married, Don's mother, she's not getting dressed. She's got old clothes on, and you know, I don't know anything about all this fancy stuff, but I did have enough sense that I ordered her flowers and ordered, you know, everything. And finally I said to her, you know, isn't the time you get married, you know, get dressed? And she says, oh, I'd never walk inside a Catholic church. And so, anyway, she didn't. And anyway,
Did someone walk you down the aisle?
oh, I don't remember that. I don't remember. Probably Dad and I walked the aisle together. I don't know. And my sister Ruth had come from Grand Rapids to stand up for me, and Don's brother didn't even stand up for him, and his good friend did. In fact, that man ended up being his brother-in-law. One time Aunt Helen's first husband died, and then he married Harry Harden. And anyway, we were supposed to live with Don's mother and dad because they said, you know, that it was through the Depression and they needed this extra money. And he couldn't get a job teaching, so he worked at J.J. Newberry's. That's like a 5 and dime store, and I don't know what he did there, but anyway, he got $13 a week. $13 a week, not an hour, a week. And anyway, we'd come home at night, and his mother would say, you know, we sacrificed so much for you to be a school teacher, and here you're doing this. And finally, I said to Dad, let's not listen to that. Let's go back to Michigan. I said, you'll never get a job teaching in New York State. So we came back to Michigan, and he stayed with the people that he always roomed with when he was in college. And then I stayed with a few friends of mine, a friend of mine for a while. In fact,
Was that in East Lansing?
Yeah. And she was the one that stayed with me when I had Patty. Well, it was then we moved out on someplace out in Lansing. We had our own apartment, and that's where we lived when Patty was born. And Don would one time he met somebody bumming. He didn't have a car, and he bummed all over. Somebody picked him up, and this man told him, he said, I will get you a job. And his last name was Renault.